Okay, we're going to talk about a project of mine and also just kind of a general people trying to get these Zhukov handguards onto a VEPR, which is not an AK because dimensionally the barrel is wider or larger diameter than an AK, so the Zhukov hardware doesn't quite work. So let me just go over why it doesn't work. These clamps basically clamp around the barrel, and then the heat shield bolts to the clamps, and then this piece slides over the heat shield. Now the problem is that these clamps are made for a barrel diameter of an AKM. According to Magpul, that's 16.75 to 18.25 millimeters. You can actually see there's a radius cut in here for two different radii, or two different diameters, which is probably the two more common ones that Magpul thought was out there. Anyways, these don't quite fit very well on the VEPR. I'm not really gonna rotate it to camera, but the VEPR VAP barrel, at least the one that I measured, is about 20.4 millimeters in diameter. So yeah, don't fit quite right. Now people have just jammed these on, and you can certainly do that. You'll probably chew up the barrel. I've already chewed up my barrel from testing, but I didn't want to go that route. I think a lot of the earlier attempts were very crude, but hey, kudos to those guys. So the other modification that needs to be made, so obviously, yeah, clamps need to be modified, fasteners need to be modified, heat shield needs to be modified. You can see this is an unmodified heat shield, and these were unmodified clamps, just for demonstration. Heat shield doesn't go on because of this little wing M-lock slot here. Interferes with the rear sight block. This will not go on, so obviously some modification will have to happen here. So I'm gonna put that aside. So here's my first attempt, and kind of similar to what other people have done before me. So you can see the heat shield has material removed, so now it goes on. You can see put these together. You can see there was material removed right there. The problem with this is it fits, but now the slot here for the M-lock is not full length, and there's nothing really that attaches with just one M-lock T-nut. Usually there's two, so if you try to put something here like a sling attachment that uses two, only one would engage, the other one wouldn't engage, so that was an issue. But other than that, this still kind of fits and works. So this was my version 1, and to get the clamps to work, I ended up modifying the original clamps. I machined, you can see the white in here, they're different because one's a top clamp and one's a bottom clamp. I had to machine them differently because I was running out of material. I basically took an end mill that was very close to 20.3 millimeters. I think it was a little bit undersized. Anyway, I took that in a manual mill and then just kind of cut these as far as I could without cutting into the holes for the fasteners. And these grab on much better than the originals. So we'll call that my first attempt. Also, the fasteners need to be modified. These are about 1/4 inch longer. They're 1.25 inches. And the middle section has threads that have been removed, and that's because the middle section touches against the barrel, and if I don't remove the threads there, the threads will actually start chewing into the barrel because they're just that close, because this was never designed for a barrel of this big a diameter. So I got that idea off of AKFiles. A lot of guys had done this before and said, hey, just take out the threads in the middle and you won't get as much interference. Now these things go on kind of clunky because they're still tight. You have to engage the fasteners like one side a little bit and the other side a little bit, you know. Otherwise it'll bind. You can't just go one side all the way first, it'll bind. So that's kind of a pain in the ass to have to do, quarter turns until you get it on. But that was my version 1. Here's my version 2. And you can see I did not remove the full wing. I only removed the material that was going to interfere with that rear sight block. So I just came down here with an end mill and just cut like that. And hopefully you can see on camera how that cut was made. So this still fits, no problem. But now I have the full M-lock slot. I can put sling attachment here and get full engagement with 2 M-lock T-nuts. Now the clamps. For version 2, I decided to go with a completely custom clamp. This is not the original Magpul clamp. This is a totally newly fabricated clamp. Has the ideal radius all the way. And instead of using the number 10 fasteners that Magpul uses originally, these are using number 8 by 32, so the thread pitch is the same. The number 8 fasteners are plenty strong for this task. There's no worry. I would have loved to use number 10s, but the design just did not allow for it. So the number 8s, the holes here are actually spaced out a little bit more than the original design, but they're still close enough that they'll clear the holes in the heat shield. So no modifications to the holes on the heat shield. And by placing them further apart, I can actually clear the barrel with the number 8 fasteners completely, so I don't have to tighten one side than the other. I can just go whatever way I want and get these on. So those are those. Just a side note, these clamps are a little bit more closer tolerance in this channel. You can see they don't move much, whereas the original clamps are a little bit more loose. Not that there's anything wrong with being a little bit more loose. I just figured since I was getting these custom made, may as well make them a little bit more tighter tolerance. So that's it. These are obviously pretty much past the prototype stage because these are already anodized. I've got a complete set, and I've got a second set. That's it though. I think I might make some more and just sell them at cost for all the other enthusiasts that want to do this. Obviously the heat shield will have to be modified too. I think I already have a whole bunch of these spares, so I might just modify a couple and just sell them as a complete assembly and not have to have people send in their parts. I don't want to deal with that. So yeah, that's it.